What's up, guys? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I'm joined by UFC middleweight Marvin Vettori, who, of course, takes on Paulo Costa in the main event of UFC Fight Night, October 23rd at the Apex in Las Vegas. Marvin, thank you for joining us. You look good, man. Tracksuit, looks like a nice watch you got on there. The hair is back. How are we feeling as this fight approaches?
Doing great. Dolce Gabbana suit, AP, we're good.
Like
Team Vettori ring. That just shows we're ready for battle. I mean, not this actually here and here more than everything else, but yeah, man. Again, he's a fighter I really wanted for a long time, and I'm excited.
What makes you say that you're ready for the fight here? Like, how do you know that?
I mean, this is it's always this is a game where it's not just about the body. It's not just about it's everything. Everything has to feel in line, and everything has to feel like. You're ready. Everything has to be aligned, and it's a feeling. It's like everything is firing, and even though most of the time we're low in calories and this and that, but so the body sometimes can play some games, but here you crave that. You crave that confrontation, and. You're motivated and you feel good. You feel good in terms of where the techniques is at, and where the cardio is at, and everything.
Well, I haven't talked to you since June, and obviously this is a big fight. Like you mentioned, it's a fight that you wanted for a long time. After the fight in June, though, did you need a break? Like, what did you do sort of like in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that title fight? Like, what did you need after that fight?
Well, I needed a break, first of all, because basically I fought two times. I fought 2 times in 2 months. Like, it was just a 2 months camp from Holland to Adesanya. So it was a back-to-back camp. So I needed a break for sure. I needed to reset my mind. And overall, a lot of times the improvement happens throughout the rest. It doesn't happen through the work. So the mind has to elaborate things and have the time to settle, and then a lot of times you come back and you feel like you've been better, and a lot of things that you work for the last camp show up on the next camp almost. So I did that, and I always stayed in shape, and even though I don't train, I still hit the bag. I still go bike. I love biking, and I'll move around and grapple sometimes here and there. I'll do hikes, and so you'll never see me getting like fat or like 50 pounds overweight. But yeah, I took a break and then came back, and it was always also good to get off of all the social media and all the media was talking and all that. So it felt definitely like the right thing to do to break off a little bit, reset, and but I feel like my mind, and then in general me, I like to stay active. I like to stay on the go, and I need to feel like a war in a sense, like where I always have a goal. I always have a confrontation right in front of me, and at times you'll take time off, but then I feel the need to jump right back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember one thing that you said, and you didn't say it to me. You told BT Sport this the night of the Israel fight. I went back and watched some interviews. You said that you were going to go back to your hotel that night in Phoenix and go on a run, like a 5-mile run. Did you do that?
I actually did it. Yeah, I went on and I did a run. Yeah, and then 2 days after I was training. Yeah, and then it's not that I kept the same pace the whole time. It's like still, like I said, I did slow down, but it's like that's my mentality. I don't dwell on myself. I'll get mad, but listen, anger gets done. Like I say, sometimes I beat that frustration. I beat that I deal with that unhappiness with anger sometimes. Is the right thing to do? I don't know, but it'll get me going. And here I am again, 3 months after or 4 months after the last fight. I've been basically in 6-7 months, I've been fighting 3 times, and I'm in the top 5, and nobody's really doing this at the between the top 5.
Just real quick though on that run, because that's pretty fascinating to me. Like if I'd seen you out running on like the night of a title fight, like that's pretty wild. I mean, were you just running around like downtown Phoenix, and what are you thinking about as on a run like out right after a title fight?
I'm just like, like he didn't win the title, and like this is like kind of like, I wouldn't say a punishment, but like like at the end of the day, it was on me. It was on me, and I was like, I'll do it. It's it's gonna make me stronger. I'm gonna like, I'm not gonna dwell. I'm gonna be chasing the next thing right off. Right off another fight. It's almost like at the end of the day, whatever people were gonna say, or I had 25 minutes to put him out and win the title, and I didn't do it. And we can do a lot of speculation, and we can say that like a lot of things that they said after the fight is not what the actual fight was, but that was also after. But right off there, I'm like, you got to work more. Let's go more. 5 miles. I mean, 5 miles is not much anyway.
Sure. Yeah. Well, for some people it is, but I guess yeah. For right after a title fight, 5 miles could be a lot.
I was like, I wasn't. I was fine, to be honest. My leg was hurting a little bit, but I was fine. And then once it gets warm, I feel like it wasn't that bad.
Last thing about this, and then we'll move on. But how do you feel about that title fight now? Now that you've had some time to reflect on it, and I don't know if you watched it again. Like how do you feel about it?
I learned a lot, and I learned that, like, he wasn't any better. He was smarter, which, I mean, it's part of the better in a sense. So he was smarter, and he fought a really smart fight. I did definitely a few mistakes that I know that I did, and I've been working on it. And at the end of the day, I always look to things to get better. Mentally, he was able to be more cool and give. I don't feel like he was that in control, but he gave that. He gave that that feeling to the crowd, and he was able to involve the crowd a lot too, and do a bunch that actually got the crowd thinking that he was in full control, which I don't think it was, because he didn't have that many weapons that he could use against me, actually. And he was most of the time disengaged in any kind of fight, but he did really fight. He did fight a really smart fight. Other than the technical aspect, where I did a couple mistakes, and I definitely, and I know that I did them, and I got back to work on those. But on the mental aspect also, like, he was really smart, and he was able to almost like be his own corner for a little bit, be able to like kind of see like situation from outside. Meanwhile, like, in a sense, for me, I had blinders on too much. So yeah, that mainly.
Okay. And then, well, right after the fight, you knew pretty much right away that you wanted to fight Paulo Costa. You said it backstage, and like you mentioned, this is something that you've wanted for a while. How come? Like, why is this a fight that you thought made sense next?
Because man, this fight it's a perfect matchup. I think it's a fan favorite fight too. It just he definitely likes to come forward. I do not ever shy away from confronting any guy, any fighter, and I think I'm superior, and I think I'm going to win this fight, and I really want to knock this guy out, stop him.
You did make a mention of a drunk Paulo Costa, and obviously that's a reference to him saying that he drank wine prior to the Izzy fight. You threw it out there, so I just kind of like to know your thoughts. He spoke about it. I spoke to him about it about a month ago. And he said, yeah, I was trying to sleep. I couldn't sleep over there on Fight Island. What, you throwing that out there, like, is that gamesmanship, or did you not believe him, or like why make kind of a reference to that?
Because I mean, at the beginning, I thought it was an excuse. Then actually, it seems like it's actually happened.
Yeah.
So, but by saying that, it's actually even more shocking, because I'm like, how you can't sleep, and that's what you're thinking of. I'm gonna drink a bottle of wine. Like that is shocking. Like an athlete of this level, not of this, at this level at least, thinking about drinking a bottle of wine the day before a fight. Like, you're crazy. Like, it don't make no sense. There's so much. You try melatonin, bro. Try meditation. Try, like, there's this app called Calm, Headspace. Try something. If not, I mean, I don't know. Like, try something. It's about here. It's yourself not letting yourself sleep. So it's about, like, that shows you don't know your mind that well. You don't know how to get yourself in a good spot. It's crazy. It's even more shocking. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, that actually gave me a lot of confidence, but I don't want to build on that too much because, I mean, I still expect the best out of him. But how would you even think about drinking a whole bottle of wine the night before a title fight?
Yeah.
And again, even if you drink a bottle of wine by the next night, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a up thing to do, but you should be fine still. Like, I mean, maybe not perfect, but with the adrenaline that pumps in for the title fight, and with the lights, and with the like, for how serious is the situation that you're going in, like, your mind will clear. Like, so kind of like giving the fault to that is an excuse anyway.
What do you think will make the difference in a fight? Like you mentioned, it's a fan-friendly fight. You said it's a perfect matchup. A lot of people would agree with you. Both of you guys are going to come forward. And you got two guys who are aggressive and used to coming forward. What's going to be the X factor? Like, when you got two similar type of styles in that?
I mean, technicity and, strategy and cardio, like pace, and who has more dog in him too, and I know I got that. So those really.
You feel like you need to cross paths with Israel again, or are you at peace with you fought him twice now? Like, is that something that, like, I got to see that guy again, or are you okay if it never happens again?
So look, I really think, like, there's no way that I won't see him anymore again. It's just impossible. I was saying the same thing after the first fight, and I know this time also, like my focus is not on him now. Like, I'm really focusing on fighting the best and beating. I mean, I want to be remembered as that guy that actually fought them all at their best, beat them all, became the champion, and eventually made history, like beating all the best. But like, this fight, it's a fight that I probably would have won this fight even if I was the champion. Like, so what drives me is to beat the best and always being there, showing that I'm the hungriest guy in the top 5, and I don't think there's any way that I'm not going to face him again. It's just I'm not thinking about it now because, of course, my focus is on Costa, and then again, like, they're talking about maybe February, and then by that, how long it's going to take again until somebody defend the title. So, but I don't think, both being right there and thinking that I'm also the biggest challenge for him in the division, that I'm not going to see him anymore. So I'm not stressing, I'm not worrying, but it's just going to happen.
Yeah. Well, last thing for you, and I know obviously you're focused on Paulo, but if you don't mind, how do you see the fight going with Israel and Whitaker? Do you think Whitaker's got a shot to beat him?
I mean, Whitaker looked good in his last fight. He looked improved. Again, it's really hard because it's hard to make an opinion out of the first fight because I feel like Whitaker was a little bit off. In a sense, and so hard to call, man. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the time, man. Really looking forward to this fight in Las Vegas. Are you going to be wearing nothing but Dolce & Gabbana all week?
Of course.
That's it.
Absolutely. No, not just a tracksuit. I got different outfits, but yeah.
How is it being? You have a sponsorship with them, yes?
Yeah.
How is that? You just get like free clothes, or you get all the stuff that, like, we can't buy off the racks? Like, what is that like?
That is private, brother.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.